Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BP TV studios right here in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching our show during this COVID quarantine time with the second or third wave, whoever's counting. I hope you're healthy. If not, prayers for you and good karma from Pittsburgh Sportsline. We always say, according to Smokin' Jim when he learned how to spell karma, that people have good karma from being on our show. So you get it for watching our show and to your health. And Merry Christmas to you, since this is our Christmas show. I didn't tell the guys, but we know Christmas is on Friday. So Merry Christmas to you, and whatever holiday you're celebrating, God bless you on that. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Chip Hayner's here, Smokin' Jim Frazier. And we got Steve, the former rookie and MVP of BPTV, back. My KO alum, Nick, graduated to running the control room. So we appreciate that.
Nepotism.
No, I'm not related to him. Look that up here. Look that up in your Funkin' Wagnalls. Let's see, I got this. We got to bring this out.
It's been a while since we saw the old Funkin' Wagnalls.
Yeah. Faulty dictionary. Let me show you what year. Try to pull the year. 1900 what? 9.
Wow.
Nepotism. It's in there. It was legal back then. Just had to share that, folks. Thanks to Lois Brenner for giving me that dictionary. She said, "You're always bringing up that Funkin' Wagnalls. I got an old dictionary for you." So, all right, we got some promos. Look at that shot by Steve. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Hillcrest Shopping Center. We used to get an XL pizza and steak hoagie. Due to the COVID and not eating here and practicing social distancing with masks in the studio. Me coming in early, Smokin' Jim coming in late. We're not going to eat outside in the cold either. Of course, Smokin' Jim doesn't know cold or heat. That's why he's wearing a short sleeve and a long sleeve underwear underneath. But I can't understand it. That's our friend. Go to Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 412-831-1900. Great Italian food. You name it, they got it. Just a great place, and they're right there on 88 at Hillcrest. Check it out. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. He did it again. Look at that, centered and everything. Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation was started by the parents of Joey, who died from the dreaded brain cancer, DIPG, 6 years ago. And they started this foundation, raised over $100-some thousand with different events that they do, and we filmed and promoted them. And they're trying to find a cure for DIPG. Prayers to them during this holiday season. It's tough to lose one kid, let alone two. This is just a great family here in Bethel Park that I support 100%. So check it out. Next up, we got let's see if he can pull this one up. How did Steve do on that one? The Bethel Park Historical Society, Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. The old trolley there, yes, a trolley, it's red. They do lots of events. They're a 501c3 also, so check it out. You can donate $1. You can donate your time. They work on there on Tuesday, Thursday, and other days and nights during the week to keep the place updated. 1905 schoolhouse, brand new roof, all new windows. You name it, they got it. Great funding from our local governments and state government too, so check them out. Next up, you'll like this. Dave Cable likes to have a little fun at my expense. Look at that shot again. Steve's on fire. I want you for BPTV. Tell them Uncle Al, The Talking Machine wants you, 412-831-3304. You can be like Steve on the camera. You can be like Nick on the audio and video and adjusting everything as we go along. Look at how good we sound. Hopefully you can hear us out there. So check it out. Give a call. Talk to Dave Cable. Yes, that's his name, director of BP TV. Next up, if you have a group in Bethel Park that needs some money for doing great things with your organization or group, we got the Bethel Park Community Foundation, bpcf.org, from $100 to $5,000. We have money for you and your group doing great things in Bethel. We've given out $1 million in 25 years. Get an app. I'm one of the trustees. When we have our meeting in January, come on out, plead your case. Don't bring Smoking Jim, though. Please. Next up, I got to test Steve's skills. I got him prepared because we practiced, even though he can handle it on the fly. I'm a little nervous, but we'll see what we can do here. Wow.
That's perfect.
6103, Route 88, red, white, and blue station, Skeets service station. Skeets Lewandowski's a boxing trainer, former boxer, just a great guy. Give him a call, 724-348-4715. They do all kinds of work on anything and everything that runs on gas. Chip Painter told you, you must have gas in the tank, and they'll check it all out, from cars, weed whackers, trucks, tractors, boats, you name it, they work on. Even hedge trimmers, gas hedge trimmers, snow blowers, anything that runs on gas. They also work on electric devices, hedge trimmers, weed whackers, etc. They have a forge there. They made all these hooks for Smoking Jim's sweetie pictures. He can hook them all over the walls. He's up to 2 bedrooms in his house that are shrines for the sweeties for Jimmy. So just check that out. And I forgot to tell you guys earlier that thank you for watching us on Comcast 7. I got excited with the holiday season here. So thank you for watching us on Comcast 7. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and yes, all points in between, city of Pittsburgh and everywhere else. So let us know. And thanks for all the likes on the Facebook page. 6,926 likes. And we appreciate all those likes and watching everything that we post up. And we'll talk about Steelers later, but you know, I've been posting up the sad news there just to tease you a little bit, so stay tuned. Don't change that dial. But we're going to go, what's on your mind? Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Here's the hard fastball.
you got.
Oh, yeah.
Juju.
The end of the year, I come back
Deontay
strong.
Johnson.
Deontay Johnson. But I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine.
Yes.
What took him so long? That's right there, Negro League Baseball. That's cool, Papa Bell right there, I think, brother.
Well,
what took him so long? Now there's going to be a new home run king. 800 home runs with Josh
Smoking time, disclaimer everywhere. We started our show a little over 9 years ago. I'm working with the man that's one of the loudest, most entertaining guys, greatest smile in the business that you can't see with the mask on, Smoking Jim Frazier. He finally discovered baseball because of myself when I gave him the Negro Baseball book. It's 9 years ago. And it was a nice book. I've read about it for years, had the paperback, still have the paperback. And he said he would read it. And I said, you'll learn something. I asked him every week, I'm going to get to it. He read 17 pages,
Yes.
And he goes, Machine, I got to give it back. So my point of all this roundabout story, long-winded like I am, because I'm the talking machine, the reason I share that is people like Smoking Jim kept the Negro Leagues down. Because I don't care what color you are. If you could play baseball, you should be in the major leagues. We had a lot of problems and things over the years, and that's what's happened. So now they've opened it up. The 800 home runs that Josh Gibson had were never documented. He may have hit 900. But what I heard, and I just talked with Chip in the earlier part, I heard somebody talking about it on the radio, and they said there were only 150 home runs documented by Josh Gibson. So Smoking Jim, the steroid king will be the home run king. That's what they allocated for that. Hank Aaron in all of our hearts is actually the home run king because he did it the old-fashioned way. Unlike you, he played baseball, and it's a hard thing to hit with a bat, yet he leads.
I sure see a lot of people doing it.
You don't watch too much, my friend. But this is about you and what's on your mind. But you went so far off on a tangent, I got to try to bring you back, way back. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you.
Carry on.
Hey, whatever it is.
Thanks for letting me interrupt you.
It's a good
Keep
thing.
doing it.
It's a good thing. I hear you in there, Nick. It's a good thing. I tell you what, because it's
It
hurtful.
brings us together.
It's hurtful, and I tell you what, Juju found out that Cincinnati's in the hurt business. Listen, I took a lot of heat when I said for years the Pittsburgh Steelers can't win the championship with a guy like Juju. Juju, when they thought he was a #1 receiver, when he was making All-Pro, when he was team MVP, I was saying trade him, get a first-round draft choice for him. You
did say it. You did say it.
with a guy like Juju. All year long, not only on this show, but all the other shows that I do, I took heat. Even as late as this weekend, I was on KDKA radio taking heat.
You didn't tell me, not with Chris Moore again.
Yeah, but they had me with a panel of black guys.
Not
Man,
again.
I never know how much I can get to talking, man. But so you know what I mean.
We'll talk
I
off
ain't
air about
promoting
that.
But I took a lot of heat because I said the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, wasn't that good. They wasn't that good. Now you got a guy like, listen, you got a guy like Juju that's disrespecting. And no, all you Steeler fans, all you wouldn't criticize Juju. I said that is disrespectful to dance on another team's logo.
Smoking Jim, we're actually on the same page. You never asked me that?
No.
Never.
Don't be no Mr.
You-
Butterworth and
No.
flip-flop on me.
I didn't flip because I never was for it.
Because here's you're going to talk about Juju disrespecting somebody else's logo.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to refresh your memory on something.
Uh-oh.
What is your opinion about Ray Lewis?
Oh, Ray Lewis is the greatest leader in the history of the NFL.
Okay, so the fact that he urinated on the Steelers
That was
logo.
great. That was great.
But if Juju
Hypocrite.
dances on somebody else, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
Okay.
Because
That's
Juju's
called
with
that's
Pittsburgh.
called being a
No,
hypocrite.
that's because Juju's with Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hypocrite.
Juju's with the Pittsburgh
Warning,
Steelers.
warning.
And Juju ain't no leader,
Hypocrite.
and that's apples and oranges.
No, it's not. It's the exact
No,
same thing.
but we're-
Anyway, he urinated on
Yeah,
our
that's-
field,
that's great.
in our end zone,
claimed it.
and
claimed
you're
it.
okay.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You're
yeah.
okay
I
with
have no
that.
problem. I have no problem with.
And you got a problem with Juju.
I have no problem with anything Ray Lewis did. Now, Juju only cares about Juju. There's no leadership in the locker room. Now, Mike Tomlin, friend of mine, we
Yeah.
ain't been friends in a couple of years, but now he's going to say in his press conference, I'm going to talk to Juju about it. What are you going to talk to him now? The next game is at home, and we don't have a logo. And we play on the road. The Cleveland Browns, they don't have a logo. The problem, now they're crying about the Pittsburgh.
Solve the problem.
Yeah. But last week he said he never even heard of Juju doing it on the logo. It's been all over the world. Everybody talks about it. You don't have coaches that'll run back and tell you what's going on. Lack of leadership in the coaching, lack of leadership in the locker room. Listen, if Bill Romanowski, Jack Lambert, Greg Lloyd, any of those guys was on the team,
How'd Romanowski
Juju
get
would
on
have
the
been
team?
in line. Huh?
What team was Romanowski
I just
on?
love Romo. Speaking of
Because
Romo,
he's spit in people's faces.
yeah, I love that.
And
I
that's
love
not
that.
that's not
I love
disrespectful
that.
either.
He only spit in black guys' faces and knocked their eye socket out. But hey, listen, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They get a local kid from Central Catholic.
Yeah.
He goes to Penn State. He's academic, 3-time academic All-American. He's got Super Bowl rings with Philadelphia, Kansas City. The backup center in both guards positions, Winooski.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers cut him for no reason. Now they don't have any offensive linemen.
Right.
My thing is, listen, I know the NFL is prejudiced against white cornerbacks.
Right.
The NFL is prejudiced
Documented.
against red-headed quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Now it looks like the Steelers are prejudiced against my Polish American brothers. When has the Pittsburgh Steelers ever had a Polish American on the team? They passed up Gronkowski to get Jason Worlds. Gronkowski's only All-American. They never went after Romanowski, one of the all-time great linebackers in the history of the league. Now, Winooski, they won't even talk about Polish Hill. They talk about North Shore. Nobody talks about Polish Hill in the Steeler organization. Listen, why am I the only one that has to fight for my Polish American brothers?
Do you even know where Polish Hill is?
No, I heard of it.
Do you know where Poland is?
No. But I know some of Ron Jaworski went to Youngstown. They didn't get Jaws. Listen, there's been
right, because Jaws was a much better option than Terry Bradshaw in the late 70s, right?
But he was better than Cliff Stout, another Youngstown guy. But listen, all I'm saying is,
what are you saying?
The Pittsburgh Steelers in the National Football League. There's very few Polish American brothers playing.
You better
in the
do
National
more
Football
research.
League. And
You got to do more
that's
research.
what's on my mind. When's the last time the Steelers had a Polish American
Do you have
on
any
their team?
idea why they cut Wisniewski?
Yeah, because they made a mistake, another mistake.
No, because he couldn't stay healthy enough to make it on
He's
to
with
the active
Kansas
roster.
City right now.
Right,
Get ready to get a
after he
ring.
spent the last 2.5 months healing from the injuries he had.
Same way with the Castro, and he still goes to the Pro Bowl. Winooski did as much here as the Castro did this year, and they should have sent him to the Pro Bowl. But name me this. Name me the last time one of my Listen, Pittsburgh Steelers, Polish American lives matter too. And that's what's on my mind.
I think there's been Polish guys on the team.
When's the last time?
Jack Ham.
Jack Ham is Polish? I thought they had
From Johnstown.
I thought they had the end in the ski. No?
No.
You can be Polish without it ending in the ski?
When they went to Ellis Ivan, let me explain something.
So you just
They Americanized everybody's
We just
names.
took all the wind out of his sails. Next.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. After that wow. They set a new record for Smoking Jim Frazier. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Well, if you think that last segment was ridiculous, check out this. Hold my beer, Jim. The Pittsburgh Steelers have proven beyond any reasonable doubt that Mike Tomlin should be terminated with extreme prejudice. And I'm going to tell you the reasons why he should be terminated. Because Mike Tomlin can't throw a pass more than 5 yards. Mike Tomlin can't catch a pass, okay? Mike Tomlin catches a pass and fumbles it. He misses tackles, okay? He can't run block. He can't pass block, okay? But other than that, he's a great coach, and maybe he should stick around a while. But because we want to blame everything on Mike Tomlin instead of on the players that are underperforming, let's call a spade a spade. Juju Smith-Schuster, I don't care what he dances on, but let me tell you this. The loudmouth wide receivers in the history of the league that ran their mouths and backed it up with their play, people like Antonio Brown, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, they talked, they yapped, but they produced on the field. Juju's going to go out there and dance on a logo, and then he's going to drop the ball in our territory, cause us 7 points, which happened to lead to our loss last night. Let me tell you something. He needs to concentrate on making plays, catching passes, not fumbling. And when he can do those 3 things, he can dance on every logo in every 32 stadiums in the NFL. But until that point, he needs to pay attention to what he's doing, focus on doing his job, and his job is to play football, not to be a TikTok master. So, all right? So,
Chip, I'm glad you just brought TikTok up now, because we just found out about it.
Well, yeah. So, last night was one of the worst performances the Pittsburgh Steelers have had in quite a number of years, and it's probably the worst performance of Ben Roethlisberger's career. What do you have? completed 7 passes for 19 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
The first 6 times our offense had the ball, we were 3 and out.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is that Mike Tomlin's fault or is that Ben Roethlisberger's fault? Because everybody
That's
says
Figner's fault.
we don't have an offensive coordinator.
Figner.
Ben calls whatever plays he wants. So why not put the blame on his shoulders? Now, can the Steelers bounce back? Let's not forget one thing. As poorly as they looked last night, they win on Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. We still win the division. We could play Mason Rudolph against the Cleveland Browns for the final game of the season. Let Ben heal, because it looks like Ben's a little worn out with all these weeks of playing without any chance to get a rest. So poor performance last night, as poor as I've ever seen. And, listening to what people were talking about with the team today, everybody, it's funny. For 12 weeks, this man right here was as quiet as a church mouse when it came to criticizing the Steelers.
Yes.
All it took was a loss. And now look at him. He's been talking about it to everybody that'll listen to him.
3 losses, yeah.
How the Steelers aren't a good team. When they were at 11-0, they were a pretty decent team.
Crickets.
They lost 3 games, okay?
We had crickets.
We'll see what happens. But this week, a big game, and the way I look at it, must-win game for the Steelers. And I look for them to bounce back at home, but we shall see. But that's what's on my mind.
We'll talk Steelers later so we can pow on some more. I was going to talk Steelers again, but then Smoking Jim's mantra is, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So I'm watching games on Sunday, and I'm confused. I see this team that hasn't won a game all year. I forget their name.
They're going to win their second game this Sunday.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I see on the scoreboard, they're winning their game. And they're winning the game throughout. It got a little close, and I see they win. The Jets, who everybody's been saying, and fans like Smoking Jim that tell it like it is, they were losing on purpose to get Trevor Lawrence. Everybody knew that. They didn't care about Darnold. Who cares? Darnold, throw him under the bus. Whatever, cut him. They were losing to get the number 1 draft pick. Lo and behold, I'm still in a state of shock. Whoa, real sweat in a cold day. They won. And I've heard other people say that players just care about winning the game that they're in. They're not even thinking ahead like Smoking Jim does and planning all this stuff out and repeating it in front of the mirror all day long. They just wanted to win, and they didn't care about the first-round draft pick. So look at all the things that have happened here. I got to co-sign what Chip said. First half of the game, my son and I are watching it because with quarantine, there isn't nobody else around. And he goes, Dad, you giving up on the Steelers? I go, Drew, this is the worst Steeler game that I have ever watched. I said, Ben looks like he's done. He's overthrowing the ball. He's missing receivers high and wide on every play. And he's calling all the plays. I go, I don't know what it's going to be like. He goes, so you gave up? I go, no, I'm watching the whole game, but I don't think we can win it. I said that in the first half, and it proved me true, so I can't wait to pile on Steeler talk at the end. But we're coming back with go ahead.
I didn't know if you or Chip brought up the fact that Antonio Brown single-handedly beat Atlanta.
No, we don't talk about that.
No, it was Tom Brady that beat Atlanta.
I thought that was 50.
Because Antonio Brown can't throw it to himself.
5 catches, 93 yards in a game-winning catch. They came down from 21 down.
Yeah, but
who's the quarterback?
Who was the quarterback?
Oh, we love Brady, and we love the genius, Bruce Arians.
Did he play?
But I know, I'm glad that you guys know now that Coach Tomlin won't win Coach of the Year, but do you know
I didn't think he would.
Do you know Le'Veon Bell, who scored for Kansas City, is now their starting running back because Kansas City's running back got hurt. So he's going forward. What a good move for Kansas City.
You know the one thing I did notice, because I got the red zone, so I got to see snippets of every game. And I can tell you this right now, watching Lev Bell and watching Antonio Brown, they are nowhere near the quality of players they were when they left Pittsburgh.
He was 7 yards behind the guy when he caught the touchdown.
Wait, if you listen.
He can't listen.
Antonio Brown used to get separation between him and the defensive backs, and they're staying with him step by step for step. He's lost about a half a step. Lev Bell has lost more than a step. Okay, and we'll see what happens now. The fact that you've got probably the best quarterback of this generation playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, who's just going to, I mean, he works magic. Whether he has Le'Veon Bell or not, he could put you back there as a running back and still win football games. I mean, all you have to do is just fall in front of somebody that's blitzing him so they trip over you, and he'll find a way to get the ball to somebody that can make a play. But
Yeah, thank you for that, Smokin'. And Bell caught a couple nice passes, too, I watched, because I watched that game.
And Winooski looked good in there when he.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him, so we'll leave that to when we come back. Fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac. Don't change that dial.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, my main man, Chip Hayner. We got the Rookie of the Year back. Steve Fisher, and my favorite fullback is making us look good on the ones and twos. My main man, Nick. He moving up quick. KO?
Yeah.
Oh, nepotism? I've never seen anybody move up in the organization this fast.
Let me explain
He's
nepotism.
the general manager already.
For all you people that don't realize Smokin' Jim's just an entertainer, never read a book, although he's a writer, doesn't look at a dictionary. Nepotism, in a little brief form, is about relatives being hired by another relative. A little disclaimer, I just met Nick. We're not related. And he's on the show, and his merits, good deeds, have got him.
His last name isn't Levine?
No. I don't even know what his last name is. Maybe he can whisper it to Steve, and then he can relay it.
He's on commercials. I was watching one of his commercials one time. He said, I forget the nickname his mom gave him. It was pretty cool. I forget what it was. But
thanks
I
for
like
the little
one. He got the voice. That's the one thing
Yeah.
you need that for
You
commercials.
respect that, yeah.
Yeah, you need that for commercials.
Okay.
But hey, what's
What?
on my mind? I'm going back. To 2018. I tell you what.
2 years ago.
I got a little sick 2017, so I missed the Pittsburgh Steelers draft day. That was the first draft weekend that I missed since 2000.
Is that when you were in the
fired.
hospital?
Yeah,
is that when you were in the hospital?
Yeah, it's the first one that I missed without being fired. I come back in 2018.
Yeah.
I tell everybody going in who the Steelers should take.
Yeah.
The Steelers' need was middle linebacker. Shazier had just gotten hurt.
Yeah.
I told everybody who would listen, every radio show, every TV show, every podcast, that was before Zoom. If I could have got on Zoom, I said, I got a guy that's better than Shazier. I went in, I wasn't on my game the first day. The first day was a Thursday. First time they did the Thursday, so I wasn't on my game because the master cook, who was black, all the cooks for the Steelers are black.
Tony, if you're watching, the race card came out later tonight.
He had died earlier, and I didn't know that, so he passed away. So I'm a little skeptical of people cooking my food. A lot of people don't like me, man. So I had to be. So I'm eating my steak. I found somebody I can trust to cook my steak. I'm eating my steak, and I'm
Did
telling
he work
them,
there? Was he working there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to trust him.
Hey, brother. Come on now. So, Al Levine, the talking machine. I'm there in the war room, and I'm telling everybody. I won't shut up.
Darius Leonard.
2018, Darius Leonard.
I heard that.
I'm telling everybody I'm pushing down. The Steelers they like Van Der Esch. So I immediately called Butterbean. Butterbean and I are good friends. I called Butterbean on the phone because Butterbean's a Van Der Esch. I called Butterbean. He's on the toilet eating a pizza. I said, Butterbean. I said, are you related to Van Der Esch? He said, I'm not sure. I don't think we're related. He said, but all my relatives are very good athletes. So Dallas took Van Der Esch early. So I'm like, Darius Leonard is there. Black college All-American, can do it all. He can run everything you're looking for in a linebacker. Mike Tomlin, because in my opinion, I think he went to the prom with his mom, takes Terrell Edmonds. Only reason Edmonds is in New York at the time is because his brother, Tremaine, was a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
He's in the bathroom when the Steelers called. He comes out with toilet tissue on his shoes. Nobody had him going before the third or fourth round. The Steelers pass on Darius Leonard. I think they was just sticking it to me. I was so mad. Darius Leonard goes on, leads the league in tackles. 3-time Pro Bowler, Rookie of the Year, 3-time Pro Bowlers.
You said that before.
Leads the league in tackles. He has, 14 sacks, 9 interceptions, 7 caused fumbles. He's the leader of the team. And then we got 3-year bust, Terrell Edmonds. Pittsburgh Steelers, just to spite me, took Edmonds over.
So were you so mad that you had to force down that second steak?
Yeah. I ain't gonna let a good steak go. 1.5 inch, T-bone. When I go down there, don't try to give me no 10-ounce steak, man. Give me that 25-ounce porterhouse, brother. Bone in. Don't be cutting around on me, brother.
Thank you, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Can you still give a dog a steak bone?
Yeah.
Right off the plate?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
You know you own a dog.
I'm a dog owner.
Only you never see it. All right, thanks, Smoking Jim.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Touching on a little trivia tonight. And for anybody that's home watching TV, set your DVR, 9 o'clock tonight, AT&T Sportsnet. There's an Inside Pirates Baseball episode. It's a documentary. It's called Clemente's Departure. And it's a documentary that was done about the last 6 months of Roberto Clemente's life. I've got it set to record tonight, so I'll see it because 9 o'clock's a little past my bedtime. I got to get my beauty sleep.
I'm off.
Okay, so if you get a chance, watch that tonight. But what that got me to doing is that got me to thinking about, one, Roberto Enrique Clemente Walker. He was a Puerto Rican professional baseball right fielder who played for 18 seasons in the major leagues. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, he was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1973, becoming both the first Latin American and Caribbean player to be enshrined. His untimely death established a precedent that, as an alternative to the 5-year retirement period, a player who's been deceased for at least 6 months is eligible for entry into the Hall of Fame. And, Roberto Clemente's story is well documented. He was on an airplane taking relief supplies to Nicaragua, which had been ravaged by an earthquake. And when Roberto found out that the supplies that were being sent there was being taken by the dictator, and they weren't going to the people, Roberto decided to get on the plane and see to it himself that the supplies that he was sending got delivered to the people that needed it. And subsequently, he lost his life in a humanitarian, trying to provide humanitarian aid to some impoverished people. So forever, he will be remembered for that. But, I just wanted to kind of go back on, a lot of people have heard of Roberto Clemente, and I don't think a lot of people really realize how great of a baseball player he was.
I do.
As a child in the 60s, Roberto Clemente was my idol. He was the first and only player that I've ever idolized in any sport in my
How'd you
entire
catch
life.
a fly ball?
He got that good basket catch. So I was listening. Well, I heard about this documentary yesterday on the radio. One of the guys that was had done some interviews for that said that he was interviewing a Hall of Fame pitcher, Don Sutton. Now, Don Sutton pitched for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 60s and 70s. and he's a Hall of Fame member. And one of the things that, he was being interviewed about something that had nothing to do with Roberto Clemente, but he started talking about the players of the 60s, okay? And he said, and he brought this up on his own, that he said by far the best player that come out of the 1960s was Roberto Clemente. Now, if you think about this, there are some great players that played in the 60s. Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, the list goes on and on. Well, Don Sutton, who played against all of these players, said, the best three outfielders of that decade were Clemente, Willie Mays, and Hank Aaron. And he said, and if I had to pick one of them, he'd pick Clemente.
Was Hank Aaron that good outfielder?
Oh yeah, Hank Aaron was every bit
as
he was. It was just an amazing time. So Roberto Clemente's major league debut was April 17th, 1955 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. His last major league appearance was on October 3rd, 1972. You remember that game, right, Jim? Who did he get his hit off of? Okay. His career batting average was .317. He had exactly 3,000 hits, and him getting exactly 3,000 hits was a typical Clemente type of thing. And here's the interesting thing about his 3,000th hit. The day before he got his 3,000th hit, Roberto thought that he got his 3,000th hit that day on an infield single, but the official score told him no hit, that was an error, so Roberto didn't get his 3,000th hits.
I didn't know that.
Which set the stage up for the following day when the Mets were playing the Pirates at Three Rivers Stadium. John Matlack's on the mound for the Mets. He gives up a double to right center to Roberto for his 3,000th hit, okay? Now, here's the interesting thing that I didn't know about this circumstance.
Lay it on
that
us.
None other than one of the greatest players to ever play the game was in the opposing dugout. And after Roberto got his 3,000th hit, he walked across the field into the Pirates dugout and congratulated him. It was Willie Mays. Willie Mays spent the last 2 years of his career back in New York City playing for the New York Mets, because Willie Mays started his career playing for the New York Giants, and he moved west with the Giants in 1957 and played the majority of his career on the West Coast. The last couple of years of his career, he went back to New York City. I didn't know that Willie Mays was there and congratulated him, and I just think that's really something special. Roberto only hit 240 home runs in his career. He batted in 1,305 runs. The only team he played for was the Pittsburgh Pirates from 1955 to 1972. He was a 15-time All-Star. And this is in an era where there were players like Bob Gibson, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and there's only 3 outfield positions available. And Clemente made the All-Star team 15 times. That's pretty impressive.
That's strong.
He's a 2-time World Series champion, won in 1960 with the Pirates. 1971, he was the World Series MVP. He was the National League MVP in 1966. He's the first Latin American player to win an MVP award in Major League Baseball.
He was black.
12 times he was a Gold Glove Award winner. That means that he was the best right fielder in the game, 12 of his 17 years. 4 times he was a batting champion. 1961, 1964, 1965, and 1967. And isn't it interesting that he won his MVP award in the year that he didn't win the batting title?
Right.
1966, 64, 65, 67. It's just incredible. His number has been retired by the Pittsburgh Pirates, number 21. And there is a push going on for his number to be retired across baseball. I feel that it should.
Never happened.
On the equivalent of Jackie Robinson, because Roberto Clemente did as much for Latin American ball players as Jackie Robinson did for African American players. So his induction into the Hall of Fame was in 1973. Now, all of this being said, he only got 92.7% of the vote on his first ballot, which he needed 75% to get in. But can you believe that there was sports writers that refused to vote for Roberto Clemente for the Hall of Fame?
Maybe because he didn't wait the 5 years.
No, they know he didn't have
have
that
a choice.
Clemente was an All-Star for 13 seasons, playing in 15 All-Star games. There was 2 years where there was 2
Doubled
All-Star games in one season. Gold Glove winner 12 consecutive seasons from 1961 to 72. His batting average was over 300 for 13 seasons. He had 3,000 hits. Just so many things about Roberto Clemente that made him such a special baseball player. But, I mean, it was the person he was off the field is what we remember most. And we kind of lose sight of really how great of a baseball player he was. And I just wanted to bring that up because, the one man from my youth, I fell in love with the game of baseball at a very young age. I fell in love with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was the first team that I ever loved before the Steelers. The Penguins didn't even exist.
Yeah.
And to think back, and I can remember the day that he died, New Year's Day, 1973. Mm-hmm. I cried like a baby, and I kept on saying to my dad that he's
they'll find him.
They're going to find him. He's going to be okay, But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But just a little update on one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Thank you, Chip. I happen to agree with you on Roberto and Smoking Jim. What do you have now?
I just got a question. I've never seen the tape of the game where he got 3,000 hits, even though I was there. You think they might show that tonight? Maybe they might show me in the stands?
Yeah, they will. You won't be in the stands, because you don't even know who you went with. But, hey, that's enough.
Either my dad or my baseball team.
Again, as I disclaim this, for all of you fans that have played sports, did you know your coach? And maybe sometimes it was your dad. But everybody knows their coach. And I can still tell you the friends. Butch Tavaletti saved one of my no-hitters when I was 12 years old from Green Tree. Wow. Butch did. Shout out to Butch. All right, that's enough of this with Chip. Let's move on. We have a lack of on location with the quarantine, so just keep thinking of what we can do next year, maybe something Zoom, maybe some other ways, do some location type of stuff like that. We'll have to think about it. My man Tony from Chick-fil-A, saw him the other day. He has a question for Smoking Jim Frazier. Nothing to do with race. He says, what's your top Pitt basketball players?
Of all time?
Yeah. He wants to know. Tony, this is Smoking Jim making a comment.
Top of all time Pitt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Number one got to be Sam Clancy.
Who was a guest on our show and one of my dad's favorites.
If you go with women, Jennifer Bruce.
Yeah.
Jennifer Bruce got to be two.
He was thinking more the Pitt men's team.
Okay. I love Sean Miller.
Okay.
As a basketball player, is reverse discrimination against white point guards.
Yeah.
But he was special. Johnny Carson at 2 years old. How about Jerome Lang?
Oh, yeah.
Jerome
I like
Lang.
it.
What about Charles Smith?
No, he's talking about my favorite, and Charles Smith would never make that because I didn't like the way he used to come into nightclubs back in the day with no dress shoes on, just tennis shoes. So I had to rank him down in my book for that. But
that's a heck of a book you got.
Darrell Porter was a special friend. He was really good. But
another guy's been on our show.
What about Billy Knight?
Billy Knight was before my time, but I would have to say DeJuan Blair, who was having a great professional career in the NBA, got sent to China, but because they didn't want too many biracial babies, they got him out of China, man. They said, oh no, get out of here. We'll still pay you for 5 years, but you got to get out of here, brother. But hey, there have been some great ones over the years, but I would have to think about it. My dad always talks about Somerset, a guy that played. I mean, he might have played for Duquesne.
Yeah, Duquesne had some good basketball teams back in the day. They won
used to be a
championships.
national power.
Who would you say?
No, I gotta agree with some of your picks
you
there.
were saying Billy Knight.
Billy Knight, I would
What
definitely.
about Norm Nixon? He played
Norm,
for
Norm
Storm and
Nixon.
Norm, but that was
That was Duquesne. That was
Storm
Duquesne. And
Norm.
the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah,
He won titles
He
with
was smart.
Magic.
He ended up marrying a rich actress. Yeah.
Well,
Are
that's
you
all.
sure that wasn't Rick Fox?
Yeah, he did.
Vanessa Williams?
yeah. But he ended
I
up
hope you
marrying-
did. I hope you did well for Tony. But thanks for asking that question.
Yeah.
Tony's still a big fan, and he appreciates your race card that comes out and comes and goes.
I
So
thought Jerome Lang was special.
he was.
I always liked that kid from Shinley, DeJuan Blair. I thought he was really good for Pitt for two.
And Sam
years.
Clancy, you can't take that away
Sam
from him.
Clancy, yeah, another guy from
Great
the Hill
defensive lineman for the Cleveland Browns.
District. Yeah,
He became
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to come back in 10 minutes to talk Steeler football. So come on back. Don't change that dial. We got more Steeler talk. Losing Steeler talk. I told you earlier in the year I appreciate every win because they weren't playing down to the level of their competition. I saw a game where not only they played down to the level of their competition, they made their competition look like a Super Bowl contender with a third-string quarterback who ran for a touchdown and made some good running plays. I just saw a complete collapse of the Steelers, and it's sad to say at 38 years old, I was saying to my son Drew again that Big Ben looks tired. He goes, Dad, he doesn't look tired. He's just throwing the ball off. I go, that's part of being tired. You can't throw 40, 50 passes every game at 38 and off for a year. He came back in good shape, but that got a wear on you. Let me mention 38 years old is not 23 years old or 24 years old. So there's a huge difference there, and he likes to throw on every play, but we need that running game, and they tried to do that a little bit. I'm worried about the next two games because I don't know how they recover from the injuries and the lack of enthusiasm on the team. I don't see anybody fired up except the TikTok nut, who's always fired up because he wants to have fun. You got to have fun. Well, you can have fun by winning. Smoking Jim will explain that to you later off air. It's fun to win. So what are you guys thinking?
Well, here's the thing that I found extremely interesting is that they announced the Pro Bowl selections yesterday. And how does David DeCastro and Marquise Pouncey end up as Pro Bowl selections when we can't even average 70 yards rushing per game? We can't pass block enough for Ben to throw a pass more than 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. I just don't see where it is. I mean, what the Steelers need to do, and to be honest with you, you know, the run blocking that I saw last night was probably some of the best run blocking I've seen out of the Steelers in the last 4 or 5 weeks. And had we not shot ourselves in the foot, could have been good enough to help us to win the game.
Yeah.
But for the first 11 games, we're 11-0. We have a plus 12 turnover ratio. In the last 3 games, we're -4.
Yeah.
Is it any wonder why we're losing games?
No.
It's a pretty simple formula. Turnovers last night killed us because 17 points scored in the first half were a direct result of turnovers by us. So, you know, if you take those 17 points off the board, all of a sudden you've got a Steelers victory. And, you know, the Steelers defense, is, you know, if you think about it, they're off, you know, we gave up 1 long scoring drive.
Right.
Okay, for the whole game. Well, you know what? In most cases, that's good enough to win a football game. But the offense just completely was inept in every single phase of the game. They couldn't block, you know, they couldn't pass block. Ben couldn't hit a wide open receiver. Then you've got people coughing up the ball, Ben throwing interception. The one interception that Ben threw, I don't know what he was looking at and why he threw the ball there, because there was players that were open, and he threw it right to the defender. I mean, it wasn't like, it wasn't a highlight reel catch.
Yeah, to talk about open players, the one time, if he would have just looked 1 more second, Chase Claypool was running wide open in the middle of the field.
And I think
that was 1 second. All he had to do is look from here to there.
Somebody touched on that today on the air,
yeah,
on the radio. At this point in Ben's career, He don't want to be hit anymore. He's getting kind of like Tom Brady. Doesn't like to get hit. Ben, when he was younger, he'd have people bouncing off of him. He'd have people trying to tug him down, and it seemed he played better when he had people hanging on his back. It's not so much anymore.
Well, here's what I think. I played football. You played sports, Chip, and Smoking Jim got hurt in football. Every season that you play football, you're playing injured. Some play better injured than others. Big Ben has been off a year. He's injured this year because you can see how his lack of running is there.
And at this time of the year, when you get into game 14, and 15, and 16, everybody's hurting. There isn't anybody that's injury-free at this point of the year.
That's my point to all of this, and it's how people react to it, and you don't recover as well as you get older. Brady's an exception, but he's doing stuff nutritionally that Smoking Jim would just pass out with what he would see he's doing, let alone how he works out. And Big Ben's not even in that category. He has tightened up a little bit, but I know he's not 100%. And there's no doubt, and he's not seeing the field, as you're saying, Chip, like he used to.
I said it last week. Listen, this is still a talented football team. I think Ben got 2 more years left.
2?
Here's the thing: the season's over. They're going to lose. They're going to finish 11-6. They're going to finish 11-6. They're a wild card team. Listen, in the off season, you got to prioritize the run game. You got to get you number one. Get you the coffee boy out of here. Get you an offensive line coach with a little gray hair. Then you got to spend $14 to $15 million and get Kareem Hunt in here. That'll prioritize the run game. If you draft a running back in the first round, they'll treat him just like a rookie. They'll haze him like they're doing Chase Claypool and won't throw to him. You bring in Kareem Hunt, who can catch as well as run. He got great size. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People used to lie and say that they were 6'2" or 5'8". His police report gave his mugshot, gave him his real height. He's 6 foot, 225 pounds. He's a Pro Bowler. He'll catch 7 passes for Ben, satisfy Ben there, and he'll run. Offensive line coach will get that offensive line moving in the right direction. And the Pittsburgh Steelers got a chance to be really good next year.
You heard it from Smoking Jim Frazier, and I got to do another disclaimer on him. This is like when Big Ben got hurt, and even before that, he was saying you should get rid of Big Ben. So you look 100% right now, even though you just made an outrageous statement. He got 2 more years.
Well, I thought they had their quarterback in Duck, and they don't. They don't think that. They're making a mistake like they did with Johnny
I beat you up on that one so bad. I said Duck would not be back.
He would look good right now. They'd be winning right now with the
I don't
Duck.
think so. No doubt about it. Why didn't anybody else want him? That's what I want to know. No other team wanted him.
Same way with Johnny Unitas and Lynn Dawson when they cut them.
Well, how'd they do?
Nobody won him.
How'd they do?
Hall of Fame.
What did Duck do to get in the Hall of Fame? 3-3.
4-3.
3-3. Let me explain that again.
Mason Rudolph was 5-3.
3-3. 3-3. Well, we still got a minute here to debate this. Anything else on your minds? What the heck? Close this out.
Yeah, here's something that's 2 weeks. The training camp opens for the Pittsburgh Penguins. The season's going to start, and there's going to be a 56-game season for the NHL. And I'm going to make this bold prediction right now: Pittsburgh Penguins will not make the playoffs.
Whoa!
Go Ohio State!
Oh, yeah.
Me and Chip's on the same page, dude.
Are you? Ohio State. They weaseled into it.
Yeah. Well, they're
Notre Dame.
They're going to get steamrolled by Clemson.
I agree.
Yeah, that should happen. There's no doubt about it. I got to agree with
ACC.
you. Smoking Jim's all over that. Trevor Lawrence is my man.
Mine too.
I got to go with him.
Jacksonville's next starting quarterback.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, they'll get it.
Jets blew it, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching our Merry Christmas to all of you show. It was fun for us, especially fun for me trying to correct Smoking Jim. It didn't work out well. But we'll be back next week. And Merry Christmas. Stay Joey strong.